Hey guys, Peter here from the Hidden Online Living YouTube channel, and here in this video I will be showing you how to set up a simple automation process within GetResponse. So make sure to keep watching through the entire video, and I will walk you through the entire process of taking what we learned from the last video I created, which was to set up a newsletter, and I'll show you how to put it into an automation sequence so that it will be set up so that when subscribers actually subscribe to your list, that the sequence of emails will be sent out to them. So if you're new to the channel and you find content like this here to be helpful, make sure to leave a like on the video, also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also feel free to share the video. Also, if you are looking for an honest and genuine way to get started on your own online journey and you want to figure out the steps in which to do so, make sure to check out the link below in the description to find out more. So if you've watched my previous video where I show you how to set up a simple newsletter sequence within GetResponse, this will be a continuation of that there and showing you how you can use those newsletter emails and put them into an actual automation, so that way when subscribers subscribe to your list, that the automation will kick off and actually start implementing everything that you're going to put together. So again, I'll be showing you the steps in this video, but if you haven't watched that previous video, check out the link in the description and in the card above and it will take you to that, and have a look over that first before you actually go ahead and follow along with this video. Right, so to get started, once you've actually logged into your GetResponse dashboard, what you want to do to find the automation sequence tool, you want to come up to where it says menu, and then you will be greeted with a load of different options here, and you want to do is select automation. So if this is your first time setting up an automation within the platform, when you click on that tool icon, you will be brought to this page and it will just give you a few bits of information regarding the automation setup procedures and what you can expect to be doing with it. So whenever you've gone through that, you feel free to have a look at that if you want to, but we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to click on start our first workflow. You will then be brought to this section where you're actually going to have access to loads of different types of templates that you can use to set up automations. A lot of these are already pre-existing and predetermined, so when you click into any of these here, they will have a lot of elements already set up for you. But in this case here, we want to just get started from scratch, so we're just going to build from scratch and click on this one here and we'll get started with a blank template. So you will next be brought to this section here where we can get set up with starting the workflow. So again, you will have a load of different type of elements and tag elements corresponding to what will actually happen depending on when the automation actually starts. So in this case, we want to actually have a subscribe. So as soon as someone subscribes to our list, that the automation will actually start. So the first thing we want to do is we want to give our workflow an actual name. So once we've actually given it a name, we just are going to click on subscribe. So when you hover over a specific element, it will actually give you some information as to what it's actually about. So we're just going to click on that. So when you've gone through all those elements, you will then be brought now to the main automation page. So you do have access to an interactive tutorial. You can switch it on or off. If you want, if you're new to it, you can switch it on and it goes through the process of showing you how to set up a standard automation, and it will show you specific features on which to follow. Now you can have a look at that. It depends. It all depends on what you want to do. So if you want to leave it off, you can leave it off. Again, they have other video tutorials that you can have a look at. So it's totally up to yourself. So when you want to get started, as I mentioned, we want to have our automation to begin working once someone actually subscribes to our list. So the first thing we want to do is up here on the conditions where it shows basic, we want to highlight or subscribed and we want to drag it to the interface. And it's that simple. So once you actually drag it onto the interface, then you'll be given a list of options that you can use to change different parameters and so forth, and we're actually going to walk you through the process now of actually setting this all up. So again, once we dragged the first segment out onto the dashboard, we will get these options, and again we can go back to the elements tab if we want to add in any more. So you can come back into the properties. So in this case, we're just going to go through the process. So you want to select the list. So when it says here select the list, you can have any or specific. So in this case, just want to set to specific. Then we want to actually choose the list that we would have set up on my previous video that I mentioned. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go and check that out on how to set that up. So once we selected that, then we want to select the method. Now here you've a list of different types of methods, whether it be form, contact, landing page, email, and a few others. So in this case, I'm just going to select API, and we don't need to worry so much about these other features here. So again, that there is pretty much good to go for now. So we'll just move on to the next step. So the next step will be to send a message. Once someone is already now subscribed into the list, we want to actually send a message. So as you come down here to these tabs, again you have a load of different ones that are here on the options panel. So you want to click on this one where it says send message, and we want to click it and drag it out onto the interface. So once it's actually out, again the options will change. So we want to go through some parameters here to actually get it set up. So we want to use a specific message that we've created. Again, I've done it actually in my previous video where I've actually shown you how to create simple newsletters. So be sure to check that one out, because we're going to be using the same newsletters here for this sequence here, so that it all ties together. So you want to come up here and you want to select draft, because in the last video I saved it as a draft. So here you will see these are all the draft emails. There's 4 emails in total. So there's 2 standard emails and then there's a resend for each one as well. So it's just in case that if someone doesn't open the original email, that you can resend it a couple of hours or a day or so later, just to keep people engaged, so that it reminds them of you and your brand. So here we want to actually pick up the very first email, which is this one here, and then we want to click apply. So as you can see here now, it'll give you a small preview of the actual email itself that we set up, and it will be linked now to this here. So ideally what we want to do next is we want to link these two together. So on where it shows the correct icon, the green icon, we can click and we can drag onto this circle here, and once we click it, it now links each of the segments together. So this is the start pretty much of the automation. So again, once someone actually signs up, they're going to automatically be sent the first welcome email, and we're going to just continue to go through the process. So the next thing to do is we want to add in another condition that actually will get started once a message has actually been opened. So when we come up here to basic conditions here, we want to see message open. So again, we want to click and drag that. Again, you can drag these boxes anywhere on the interface. That's actually the really cool thing here. You can pretty much design it pretty much how you like, but I just, for simplicity, I just want to keep everything as simple as possible. So just to keep everything really neat and tidy, so you know exactly where everything is. So once you actually have dragged that here, again, we're just going to go through the same process as we did before. So you want to go for newsletter, I want to go for specific. The next thing to do is we want to come back over to the toolbar on the side, and we want to select automation. Then where it says any, we want to select specific, and now this will give us access to the messages. So the message that we have highlighted in this box here, we have it here. So we're just going to click on that, and that's going to set it up now. So with that done, we can leave all this here. We don't have to worry about this here for now. So we're just going to click and we're going to drag, and this will set this up now. So this will here now will go live. So with this part of the sequence now set up, next thing we want to do is we want to set up the resend email as well. So ideally what we want to do is we want to come down here under the basic actions, and we want to select the wait element, and we'll bring it over. Now you can change the different parameters here. You can set it wait until or wait for, so you can set it to a day or set it to specific hours. So what I'm actually going to do is here is a good rule of thumb would be to leave it for a minimum of about between 5 and 6 hours after the original email is sent. It's just in case if someone doesn't open that email, so it gives them enough time while they're still fresh in your mind so that they remember you. So we'll just click on 6 hours again. I'm just going to put this back to 0, and what we're going to do is drag this here and drag it and link it to this here. So that way we know that it's going to work. So ideally what we want to do also is we want to use the resend message like I mentioned. So what this here will actually do is you can see here the check and the cross. So this here is when everything is active. So if someone is actually clicking on your links and actually opting in and looking in your emails, this will let you know that people are clicking on emails, so they're going through the process. But if they're not, it will hit here, which is the same as pretty much a dead end, but you can work around this. So what we would do here is we'll use this here to send the resend message. So when you highlight this here, we're going to come up here and we're going to click on draft, then you're going to select message, and as I showed you previously, we're going to use the resend. So again, with all the emails that's here, we're going to find this one. So I've given it the name resend as well, so I know specifically where it is and where I can find it. So we're going to click on that, and it's all good. So we're just going to click apply. So that there now will be populated within that box. So what will happen is we'll link this cross icon here to this email, and essentially what this is going to do now is that if someone gets your first email but doesn't actually click on it, 6 hours later they will get the second resend email to remind them to open it. So again, what we want to do is we just want to make sure that we link all this together. So again, you're going to click on this icon and we're just going to drag it back down here to this original wait section. Essentially what's going to happen is now someone's going to get your email within that time frame. If they open it, all well and good. If they don't open it, what will happen is the condition will kick in, it will wait 6 6 hours, and then it will resend the second email or the resend email as I mentioned. So that way then it will keep people engaged. So if people don't get the first one, they will get the second one, and they will get it within that time frame that you've specified here in these elements, which is 6 hours later. So it's just a case now of rinsing and repeating the entire process until we get to the end of the automation. So I'm quickly just going to go through this now just to show you what it looks like. But essentially this is how simple it actually is, and these features here in GetResponse, it is actually really good compared to some other autoresponders that I have used in the past. And don't get me wrong, they're excellent programs, but they don't have this level of integration and they don't have this level of detail where you can be really specific about exactly what's actually happening. You have full control over everything. So it does take a bit of getting used to, especially if you're a beginner, but as long as you sit down with it and give yourself a bit of time, you will actually be able to set up some really cool automations with this. So just to go back over some of the elements real quickly here, what you can do is this here now will be your main wait perimeter that you will use. So ideally you don't want to send all emails out in one day, so you will set up this wait element here and you will set it to, like, say a minimum of 1 day. But you can also highlight the actual message sequence here, and it does actually give you access to some wait perimeters here as well. So what you can do is you can add in the time frame in this here one, so say 6 hours later. So this is the one here now that will actually be used to set up the resend. So when someone clicks into or signs up to your list, they will get sent the message. Once you've set up the perimeter here, 6 hours later, if they don't click on the original email, they will be sent the second resend email, and then with both processes they will then wait for a total of 1 day before you will then go through the second phase of the automation, which will be to send on the second separation of emails. So once we've got this first section of the sequence done, we want to just continue on and just pretty much repeat the process throughout for the second sequence of emails. So quickly just going to go through that now. So again, you just want to follow the same process as I showed you previously. So you want to send a message, then you want to confirm if the message is opened or not, and then we'll go through the process. So again, you want to click and use another send message icon. So what you want to do is you want to select from the menu here, you want to select draft, then you want to select second sequence of emails. So this here, as you can see here, we've already used these two here, which was newsletter 1. So this one here is pretty much the same, newsletter 2, and this is the first email in this sequence, and this is the resend. So we want to click on the first one and we click apply, and now you can see it's populated within this box. So again, it gives you a preview of this email itself. So what we want to do is link this here together with the previous segment. Next thing we want to do is we want to add in, like we done previously, a condition. So we want to have message opened again, just pretty much the same process again as we used before. So again, with that highlighted, we want to click on automation, then you want to click on specific, then we want to click on select a message, and then we want to select the second message. And again, we want to go through the similar process as we did here, so we want to change out some of the wait factors. So again, we're just going to select about 6 hours later. That way then when we go to use our resend message, which we're going to do now, we can add this in here. So again, we're just going to link this here to set this up so that it's live. And what we're going to do now is we are going to set up our resend. So again, you want to come in where it says use message layout, again come in the draft, come in to select message, and here we're going to use the resend message. Click apply, and what we are going to do now is like we did before. So if someone doesn't open the message, the second message, we can send the resend. So this here now will be live now. So if someone doesn't click on it, 6 hours later they will automatically be sent this here. So again, what we want to do now is we want to add in another wait condition down at the bottom, and again we just want to set up the similar perimeter. So we want to just wait for about a day, so we can just link these here together to make sure that it's live, and that's it now, good to go. So as you can see now here, this is how easy the process actually is to literally set up a very simple automation. So again, you can just drag stuff around if you want to tidy things up a little bit more, just so everything is easier to see. And that's it there for now. So it will go through the process. So again, we'll just recap. You'll set up the sequence, you will add in the perimeters here. So when someone signs up through your email, if you go to your landing page, someone will enter their email and they'll start. What will automatically happen is they will be their email address will automatically be stored within your list that you've set up, that I showed you how to do in the previous video. Again, check that out. I'll leave a link in the description description. Then when you have this process set up, this automation will actually start and get going. So you have the perimeter here, so they will be automatically sent within the first couple of moments of them subscribing. They will be sent the first message. So then they have the condition here. So if they've opened the message, they will be then sent on to the wait perimeter. So they'll wait 1 day until they get the next email sequence. But if they don't actually open it within that time, 6 hours later, they will be sent the resend email. Essentially, it's just the same email again, but it's just got a different title on it. It's just so that the emails aren't truncated and they're not sent to the spam folder within their inbox. So either way, this gives you more leverage and gives you more opportunities to get your content out in front of your potential customers or buyers, so that they are more aware of you, they're more aware of your brand, and that you can start building up more value and provide more value and build more trust with them. So again, once you've gone through these here, they will then have to wait then for a day, which is essentially what you want to do. You want to do it in a stage or step-by-step process, because you don't want to literally send all your messages out in one go, because you can completely overwhelm your subscribers, and that can a lot of the times lead them to being annoyed and they will unsubscribe from your list. So you don't want to do that. But if you do it in a nice timely manner and in a structured process like this here, it gives you that leverage. So again, once you've set up the wait perimeter, it will wait 1 day, say 24 hours, then it will go into the next stage of the emails, depending on how many emails you can have in the sequence. Now in this sequence, I only have 2 main emails, both with resends, so there's 4 emails in total, but you can have as many as you want. It's totally up to you pretty much what you decide to implement and how many you want to have. So when you've done that, again, you go through the same process again. They've opened the second email, or they've received the second email. If they've opened it, all good. They just continue on through the funnel or through the process. They wait another day, and then you can repeat the process again. If they haven't opened it, again, you'll have that time frame or that wait element added. 6 hours later, they will get the resend email if they haven't opened the original one. And again, once they've clicked on that and they've read through that, then again, they will go through that process again. So that way then they'll wait another day, and then you can send them on then to another email sequence that you may have. Now if you're only setting up a small automation, this is ideal, this is perfect, because what this does is you can leave pretty much the door open to add other features onto it. So if you want to build this out as an actual, like say a funnel, you can add this automation, you can build up this automation to as big or have as much in it as you like. Again, it's way beyond the scope of this video, because I just wanted to show you how simple it is to build out just a simple automation for an absolute beginner to get started. But pretty much you can go nuts and you can pretty much create it as you want it from here on out. So you can add in as many automations, you can add in as many emails if you want to. If you have other, eventually you can build out further into the automation and build an entire funnel out of it, where you're providing value first and foremost for the first couple of emails, say for the first couple of weeks, to provide value and build trust. Then once you've actually gained the trust of your followers, then you can start setting up promotion campaigns, which you can also add into the automation, and you can have everything set up. But you can literally set this up, and then you can have this running for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or even a couple of months, depending on how long or how much time you want to put into it. It's totally up to yourself. But this here is a good starting point to show you and get you to understand what it actually takes to do this. Again, it is time consuming. Email marketing can be very, very monotonous, and it can be time consuming, but if you do it the right way and you set it up correctly, it will pay dividends for you in the future. But this is a good way to start. So again, if you're new to GetResponse, or if you're thinking about checking it out, make sure to check out the link in the description so that you can get started with the platform and sign up to the free trial, and just to get used to the platform. Again, you'll have access to all the tools within that trial, and you can decide whether it's going to be a feasible option for you or not. Now, I actually do like it, because having access to this here automation workflow will definitely allow me to be able to have more detailed integrations, so that way then I have full control over exactly how everything I want to work. And it all depends on what type of content that you're creating and how you want to build out your business. So having a good platform like this here to allow you to have that level of control is a must. So I highly recommend you check it out. So again, if you haven't checked out the previous videos, I would highly recommend that you check them out first off and go through that process and watch each one in sequence before you go to this one, and that way then you'll have a better understanding of what steps to take when you get to this point. So hopefully you found this video to be helpful, and I do hope now that you have some idea of how to set up a simple automation process and how you can really just get started with the whole platform. And if you have found this video to be helpful, make sure to leave a like on the video, also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also feel free to share the video. Also, if you are looking for an honest and simple way to get started on your own online journey and you want to figure out the steps in which to do so, make sure to check out the link below in the description to find out more. And again, I will see you all in the next one.